Hello, I'm back with the development experience of India, right from 1950. That period is 1950 to 1990, and in that particularly we are talking about agriculture, growth and development, and in that we are talking about the land reform measures that have been adopted, and in that we've categorized them into abolition of intermediaries. We've talked about tenancy reforms and also reorganization of agriculture. So here I'm going to show it to you. Please, this is how have divided this into basically it's just this. So let me just talk about this and let you know that for land reform measures in India, we have land reforms mean agricultural reforms. So they are known as land reforms. So these were the policy, the agricultural policy since independence. Basically, it was the land reform measures in India. So what was land reform? It means reforming the land relations, especially as you see, it was regarding the ownership of land in the agricultural sector. So some important institutional reforms had to be taken in the agrarian structure, and these came to be known as the land reforms. So all obstacles in agricultural development that arose from land ownership pattern, like the land tenure system, pattern of agricultural land holdings and agricultural tenancy. So this was it. They had to be removed, or even if it didn't remove them, they had to be reformed. So this is what we will be doing. And let's take the first one, land reform measures in India, abolition of intermediaries. The first one. So who was the main intermediary? Indian government took various steps to abolish intermediaries. Why? To make tillers the owners of the land. And who was basically the owner? The intermediary, that was a zamindar. The idea behind this step was that the ownership of land, anybody who owns a land would be incentive enough to the actual tillers, who will then be interested in making permanent improvements on land. So zamindars, who were the intermediaries between the state and the actual tillers of the soil, were abolished. Those titles were abolished now. So there was by legislation. So at the time of independence, 57% of land was under these zamindars. So there was this act to abolish intermediaries was passed in 1948 in Madras. After that, state after state passed legislations abolishing zamindari system. And by 55, most of the states had passed these legislation. So in the next, we're going to do the tenancy reform. So this was abolition of intermediaries, especially the zamindars. This was the first step towards the, as we said, the agrarian reform. The first step towards agrarian reform.